All right, so we have run into a bit of a dilemma. All right, we made it through about 6 episodes of the show, but now my computer has run into a glitch. It's a very sad day. Every time I try to boot up my video call, there's this glitch that pops up. There's this like parasite that shows up on my screen and he won't go away no matter how many times I try. I can't kick him out of the call. He won't leave. It's a huge problem that I have to deal with, and unfortunately, I haven't been able to fix it in time for recording day. So until I get it fixed, we're just gonna have to deal with this guy on the show for the next hour and a half, 2 hours, while we rank the National Hockey League teams. This is Zach. He goes by Goat Quote on the internet. He had his 15 minutes of fame in Minecraft, but he is here to talk about hockey with us because it is the Olympic break. About 10 minutes before we started recording this, Canada beat Finland in the Olympics, the men's team 3-2. I think they outshot Finland like 39-16 or something, so it's a damn miracle that it was even that close. But Canada will, I think they will medal, right? Was that the semifinal game?
Yep.
So they're good. So they're
Yep.
going to medal either gold or silver, obviously. And as for the state of the league, we have our tier list that we are going to rank all the teams in. We have cup favorites, tier 2 contenders, low end playoff team, on the bubble, weak, and Guantanamo Bay for the 32 teams of the National Hockey League, with the league resuming in 4 days. We have a kind of a vibe of who's hot and who's not. So, Zach, as your introductory to the show, our prestigious show that gets about 20 viewers an episode, what do you think about the state of the league?
Yeah, so right now, the Avalanche are the current point leaders in the NHL. But they've kind of been coasting on that since the new year as they lost Landeskog, the captain, and the our best defensive defenseman, and Devon Taves, and have played pretty shit since then. But still number one in the league, still the best team. Tampa's probably been the best team since the start of the new year. They're just absolutely on fire. Darren Radish is having a breakout season. Nikita Kucherov is still racking up points like it's nothing. Like he's still playing in juniors. Um, Vasilevsky found his groove. I think he had a shaky start to the season this year, and I think he was kind of shaky last year, but he's back to his prime back-to-back cup winning form. Um, they're kind of just rolling top to bottom, little issues, even when dealt with some adversity and injuries with Hedman. I think McDonough's been injured at some points this year, but yeah, they've been right now they're the best team. Avalanche still across the whole year, but yeah, lot of lot of different lot of newcomers. The Canadians have gotten hot this year. They're not looking like just a fringe team. They're still young, but their goal scoring and their talent has exploded this year. The Wild have been amazing. They added Quinn Hughes, which has made their defense one of the best in the league. I think it's been like top three in like points and goals since Quinn Hughes became a Wild. Um, the Red Wings are finally the Yzer plan is finally coming to fruition. Um, Sider is been proving himself as an elite defenseman. He's been getting like nearly 30 minutes a game with the Red Wings because frankly they don't really have anyone else on defense. Larkin's been trying to prove himself as a 1C. Kane's still got it going even at what 35, 36 years old or something. Um, they have their issues, but I think their high end talent is kind of bringing them have gotten them to this point. Um,
And Mark is still here to vent about his New York Rangers who are in last place. You're not going to believe this, but I left my notes in my room. So you have your minute or so to whine about the Rangers while I go get my notes.
Yeah. I'm not that upset. I'm more disappointed. Like it's not like anger. Like of course I have my issues with jury, but it's just disappointing to see that we built up this core after the past however many 5 6 years. We got a good thing going, got to a few conference finals appearances, won the President's Trophy. Even though that season, I I didn't think we were going to win the cup. I think it was probably our best chance, but the Panthers were just so lights out 2 years ago that I really had a hard time thinking we could get past them. And it's just back to it being disappointing. This core is still very, very much the President's Trophy team. So but the chemistry is just absolutely gone. I mean, of course, Panarin was just traded, and then pre-deadline Rangers, a very similar team. Fox is hurt, Trouba was gone, but even before Fox was hurt, like they just they have a few good players because Fox was doing well. Panarin was points wise having a good season. Early on, we were really struggling to score, especially at home. I think we got shut out like 7 games in a row at home or something.
Yeah,
I can't remember
the worst home team in the NHL. Let me double check. Let me double check that.
It was brutal.
Your home record. You are 6-15-4 at home.
That's rough,
That
man.
is
Nice.
absolutely brutal.
That's horrible.
Yeah, that won't cut it.
And that's honestly kind of it. Like we didn't sell enough. My biggest critique is we did not sell enough at the deadline. I think everyone should have just been gone. Like just rebuild from the ground up. I think the Rangers are kind of notoriously horrible at developing forwards, and I think that's one of the reasons Lafreniere has been disappointing. He's not bad. He's good. He's a good player, but he was supposed to be like a generational talent. And maybe with the right coaching, he still could be. I think it could have been for the best to maybe try and ship him. And a lot of Rangers fans kind of disagree with that. But I'm just thinking long term, he didn't really pan out here as a superstar. Maybe we could get some value and he could flourish somewhere else. So that's really it.
But anyways,
Rangers.
But now with that out of the way, we have the 32 teams of the National Hockey League that we're going to rank, and we're going to go ahead and get this started with the Anaheim Ducks. I have been hearing ever since, like, the bubble that the Ducks are this up-and-coming team on the rise, and it looks like it's finally starting to click a little bit. They are 30-23-3, 63 points. They are in a playoff spot right now with a third spot in the Pacific Division. If we could pull up some of their standouts. Cutter Gauthier with 49 points in 59 games has been their best forward. With Carlson, Terry, Chris Kreider, the veteran, he is a -4, but he has 30 points. And they are getting actually not good goaltending at all. I thought Dostal had a better save percentage at .897, but they are on a playoff spot right now. It's looking like they're finally heading in the right direction. They got Gauthier after that fallout he had with Philadelphia. So where are we putting the Ducks?
Do you have a stream up of the tier list?
No, I have. So we have Cup favorites, Tier 2 contenders, low-end playoff team, on the bubble, weak, and Guantanamo Bay. There's 6 tiers.
Okay, I would put the Ducks at the low-end playoffs, or no, I'd put them at bubble because so I think the Ducks, they've got the main reason that they've blown up this year is because Gauthier, Carlson, and especially Beckett, Seneca have absolutely exploded. They're all having amazing seasons. I think Carlson is injured right now, but Seneca, if I remember correctly, he's like the leading favorite for Rookie of the Year for the Calder. So getting that youth to that youth core absolutely firing on all cylinders offensively is like a big reason why they're in the hunt right now. I think they are currently in the second wild card spot in the West.
They're third in their division. They're third in their division.
Yeah. Oh.
That's what I just read.
I'm seeing tied. So they're tied for third. They are in the wild card spot thow.
Yeah, because Seattle has more regulation wins.
Oh yeah. Hockey reference lied to me.
Yeah. So like that youth, and then adding veterans like Kreider and Granlund, and then last year they added Trouba, and I think Gudis, or it was the year before they added Gudis. But either way, they've been getting a good mix of finally having that mix of youth and veteran players, and and as despicable as he is, Joel Quenneville is still a good hockey coach, and they don't have hockey terrorist Greg Cronin running the team anymore. So with all that, I think that makes them a good bubble team because their defense is still pretty bad. And while the goaltending numbers don't look great, I think Dostal is like kind of keeping them in games. There was the Avalanche. They lost a game in January, 2-1 in the shootout because Dostal absolutely stood on his head. He had like 50 something saves. I can check that in his games.
My issue with the Ducks is I don't think they have any upside in the playoffs. So I'm torn between low end playoff team and on the bubble. Because I could see, with how bad their defense is, I could see them slipping out of a playoff spot, especially if the Kings get hot with getting Artemi Panarin. So I don't hate low end playoff team. We can go back to the list and look at it again. We might have to.
I think I put him on bubble.
Yeah, I thought he said low end playoff team. Either way, are we
Yeah,
cool? Are we cool with on the bubble?
The only thing I think is because the the Pacific's kind of wide open. They're
Yeah.
only 5 points. They're only 5 points back from the Knights. Like it's not like it'd be impossible for them to win the division. But like you said, the defense isn't good. I'm gonna say low end playoff just because the Pacific is wide open and there's technically the shot.
I do agree with that actually.
Yeah.
Because I that actually is a really good point because the Pacific is hot dog shit this year. Like
Yeah.
Because the Oilers
Like,
are cold.
let's just
Because the Oilers are cold.
let's just say if the Oilers and Kraken lose their next game and the Ducks win, they jump 2 spots. They're
Yeah, that's
second in
fair.
that's what I
can see
think.
there.
Yeah,
all
because
right, low end playoff team it is.
the Vegas Golden Knights, who are leading the Pacific, have more total losses than they do wins.
So
They are just carried by OTLs.
you have some teams like the Buffalo Sabres or the Arizona Coyotes of old that just regurgitate the same 5-year plan over and over and over, and they just cannot get it right. Some of the rebuilds feel like they're never going to end. And then you have the Boston Bruins who do a quick, I don't know about a teardown, but a quick little retooling, and they're right back in a wild card spot like they never left. I wouldn't call them contenders by any means. If we could pull them up real quick, get a quick overview of the Boston Bruins. Because Marchand is gone. Obviously, Bergeron retired a couple years ago, but they still have Pasternak, 69 points, a notably better record than the Ducks, but they're 5th in the Atlantic because obviously Tampa's ridiculous, and Buffalo seems to finally be learning how to play games again. But Pasternak's giving you almost a point a game. But the problem is no one else on the Bruins has more than 35 points. Nikita Zadorov does lead the NHL in penalty minutes at 123, and they are getting not horrible goaltending, but I don't think Swayman's exactly playing to the level you'd expect of his contract. So as for the Boston Bruins, I'll kind of break the ice. I think they belong right next to the Ducks in low-end playoff team where I think they have good odds of making it, unless you want to bump them down to the bubble because the East is tougher, or more so the Atlantic Division. It's weird because I think they're better than the Ducks. I also am not as confident that they'll make the playoffs than the Ducks, if that makes any sense. So they might have to be on the bubble, even though I think they're better than the Ducks.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely the right spot because the thing with the Bruins is that this year they've been really, really like yin yang, hot cold. Like they started the season off absolutely awful. They in their first 10 games they won 4. They had a big 6-game losing streak, and then they went on a big winning streak, and then they went on a big losing streak, and it's just kind of been off and on. And they're a very like ticky tacky, like I said, hot and cold team. Pasternak's absolutely carrying them. Morgan Geekie is having an insane season. His shooting percentage is 25%, so he's getting pretty lucky. but he's also, I believe, still second in the NHL in goals, which has been a real big help for them. McAvoy is still pretty good. Um, their depth is pretty bad, but again, they've been managing to scrape by because of Pasternak, Geeky, McAvoy, and Swayman, who's had an up and down season. But
So we're cool with the
yeah,
bubble.
yeah,
If they weren't in such a tough division, I'd move them up. But you have Tampa and Detroit and Montreal and Buffalo, who's finally good again, and they're going to be competing for a wild card spot with them in the Metro. It's all, I don't know if they'll make the playoffs, but they are. It's weird. They're better than the Ducks. So, with that being said, it's time
Yeah.
for Buffalo. Are they finally back? They have been in a perpetual rebuild ever since I was like 9 years old. I'm 22 now. I'll be 23 in about a month and change. But they have finally, seemingly, I don't know about put it all together, but they're finally winning hockey games. You have Tage Thompson, the star of the team, 32, 19, and 6. They were white hot about going into the break before dropping their last two games before the break. But you look at this team here, it's Tage Thompson, 59 points, more than a point a game. Rasmus Dahlin's not that far behind him. Alex Tuck coming through at 29 years old. McLeod, Doan, Quinn, Samuelson, Zucker. And they are getting pretty exceptional goaltending from Alex Lyon, of all people, a 33-year-old who I think was a journeyman throughout his career. And it's looking like it's not a shoo-in yet, but it's kind of looking like they're finally going to make the playoffs. Now, whether or not they're a low-end playoff team and we want to give them the benefit of the doubt, or if we want to put them next to Buffalo and on the bubble, because they're definitely still not a lock by any means. But what do we think about Buffalo?
They have
yeah.
a lot of injuries. They've got 8 injuries right now.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Seems like yeah. So Luukkonen, I think he got hurt like right before the Olympics. Josh Norris is also injured right now. I don't remember.
Yuri Kulik, is that how you pronounce that last name? He has a blood clot.
That's
Yeesh,
yeah.
that's
So
scary.
the thing with the Sabres, I think, is that the I guess their problem in at least especially the last few years is that it's despite all this talent, they still keep losing, and they just couldn't find a way to win.
And it
But
sounded
I
like the
think this
key,
year,
and it sounded like the key to win cups is to make trades with Buffalo. You trade for one of Buffalo stars, you are winning the cup.
yep, especially Florida.
Florida,
Um,
Vegas.
but yeah, because so Tage Thompson, I think last year and the year before he had kind of a down year after a really stellar 22-23 season, but he's finally starting to put it together again. Tuck is being a great leader for the team. Zach Benson's doing good. Josh Norris, it was Dylan Cousins for Josh Norris. I think it was last year or the year before, and that trade has been mostly a win-win. But I think Josh Norris has especially thrived in Buffalo. Um, Josh Doan, who was a part of the JJ Peterka trade, has been absolutely incredible for the Sabres, given his um I don't know if it's still true, but early in the season he had like the most like points per 60 minutes or something in the league. It was kind of crazy, and he's been really good. He's been a stellar addition for them. Darlene is, you know, being a great captain. Their defense has kind of figured it out. Um, and goaltending has also been a positive because they started out the season horribly, like absolutely awful.
As
But
typical.
they have, but right now they're one of the hottest teams in the NHL, and that's the reason that they have made it to the first wildcard team. I think, in spite of that, though, they're still, as of now, a bubble team because knowing Buffalo, we just don't know what's going to happen. They could just fall back down to earth again.
I'll be blunt.
Um,
I'll believe it when I see it. I know they're winning games, but I'll believe it when they can sustain it over the course of a season. If they can maintain this pace, they'll easily make the playoffs. But the
That's
fact
what
that
I'm saying.
yeah, I agree. The fact that the Atlantic is so crowded, I'd probably put them on the bubble. Even though again, it's maybe my tiers are bad because I think the Sabres and the Bruins are both better than the Ducks, but with um how heavy and how loaded the Atlantic is, it's not really a guarantee that they make it. Whereas I like the Ducks odds more because the Pacific Division is a joke. But with Buffalo out of the way, it's on to the Calgary Flames. I don't feel like spending too much time with the Calgary Flames. We know they're terrible. They completely lost the Huberto trade. They switched out Matthew Tkachuk for Huberto. That was a whiff. They're 23, 27, and 6, 52 points in 56 games. They're second to last in probably the worst division in hockey in the Pacific Division. The only question is, do they go in weak or do they go in Guantanamo Bay? I don't want to spend too much time on this. Are they the worst of the worst, or do we move them up one tier because they're not as bad as like Vancouver?
Yeah, I do think it's gonna be a the absolute bottom tier because like even Dustin Wolf, it has cooled down this year, but oddly enough, Devin Cooley is their better goaltender, and he actually leads the league in save percentage. Um, but yeah, the only like good player they have is Nazem Kadri, and he's probably gonna get traded. So yeah.
Carolina Hurricanes, back to a team that matters. First place in the Metro. This feels like their fifth or sixth all-in push in a row after breaking out in 2019 and making the playoffs. They added, they got Nikolai Ehlers from Winnipeg last year. If we could actually give the Hurricanes the time of day, I believe it's Freddie Anderson still healthy, right?
Uh, I don't know, but he's awful this year.
Oh really? Oh Jesus Christ! 871, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
Freddie Anderson is horrible.
You have Kachetkov, and then you have Brandon Bussey. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. A 906,
Yeah.
216 goals
Yeah.
against average. It's Aho, it's Svechnikov, it's Ehlers and Jarvis, the same guys that lead the Hurricanes as always. I feel like the Hurricanes are kind of in the San Francisco 49ers tier of we agree that they're really good, but we kind of just don't give them the benefit of the doubt that they're going to make it all the way until they do, because I feel like they're a lock to breeze through the first round. I feel like most years, and some years they steamroll through the second round. I mean, they made quick work of my boys last year in 5 games. They made quick work of New Jersey in 2023 in the second round in 5 games. And in the first round this past year, but they run into that conference final wall. They can't get out of it. Swept by Boston, swept by Florida twice. They can't seem to. They lost to the Rangers in 6 the other year. So does Carolina belong in Cup favorites with them being in first place?
No,
No.
I think I'll get to this later, but I think the Hurricanes do belong in the second tier because yeah, so with Brandon Bussey, he's been pretty good. I think he's the the kind of consensus around the league, around the media is that he has been really good, and but he is being kind of carried by the Hurricanes having really good depth, really good defense, really good defensive system. Rod Brindamore has he's a pretty good coach. But yeah, so I think yeah, Bussy, they signed him to an extension as well. Like it was like 3 years, 1.9 million per or something, which even though he's kind of being carried by a defense, I think that's a steal of a contract for the Hurricanes. But
It's pronounced Bussy.
okay, either
Smart
way.
guy.
But they got
Kidding.
they got Nikishin for the playoffs last year, but he didn't really get much playing time, and he's in his rookie year, so he's helped with their defensive depth. They got Keandre Miller from the Rangers, who has been, as far as I'm aware, been pretty good for them. Slavin's been hurt most of the year, but he's still one of the best lockdown defensemen in the entire NHL. Um, Taylor Hall has been surprisingly good in his Hurricanes tenure, even for being 34 years old. Still a Hart winner, by the way. Stole one from Nathan McKinnon. But yeah,
Okay.
I think they're a really good, like, they don't have like super elite high end talent like aside from like Aho, but they have good depth and I think that's honestly what gets them so far in the playoffs until they inevitably crumble in the conference championships, which they might do again this year.
Well, fair enough.
Still,
I don't really.
yeah,
Go ahead.
still haven't won a game since '06 in the
They won
conference
one
finals.
last year.
No,
Oh, they
they won-
did.
Oh
They
no, they
broke
did.
it.
Yeah, duh.
Yep.
What game of this? Wasn't it Game 4 when they were down
Yeah,
3-0?
I think it was game 4. It was either game 3 or game 4.
Nice.
Well, they packed us up in 5, so I can't make fun of them that much. The Chicago Blackhawks. They actually, in terms of record, are not. I don't believe they're that different from the Calgary Flames. 22, 26, and 9. That's actually. That's not that different from Calgary. They have one more point than the Flames in one extra game, so they're actually right down there with the Calgary Flames. But they are in 6th place in their division because the Jets and Blues, and I do want to talk about the Jets when the time comes, because what the hell is their problem? But if we look at the Hawks, this does feel like we're still waiting for the Bedard core to break out. Bedard's been terrific. 53 points in 44 games is outstanding. But after that, I mean, Bertuzzi's been fine. But then you have Burakovsky, Donato, Frank Nazar. You're probably going to be patient with him. But my issue with the Hawks, and we'll see how much Spencer Knight can improve over the next couple of years. My issue with the Hawks is these last couple of years with Bedard, I feel like they've been very aggressive in shuffling up the roster instead of letting Bedard get chemistry with his guys, and I feel like that's been bad for him. Obviously, Bedard's a one-of-one talent right now, especially at his age, but I do want to see the Hawks try to get some more roster stability for the future. Let Bedard get some chemistry with some guys over the course of a couple of years. So, do we give the Hawks the bump over the Flames because they have Bedard, or are they still in Guantanamo Bay because their record's still bad?
I think they get the bump up because they do have Bedard. Spencer Knight this year, they got him from I believe they got him from the Seth Jones trade last year.
Yes.
He's been really good this year. The Hawks actually had like a really hot start to this year. A lot of that though was because of Spencer Knight, and I think their goals scored above expected was like number 1 in the NHL by a long shot. So they were just they had like a really good team shooting percentage, so they were getting really lucky, and that's why they're winning games. But now they've kind of come back to earth. They've regressed to the mean and whatnot. But yeah, it's the same thing with like Bedard. Like they are not surrounding him with good talent. That's the difference between him and Celebrini right now, I think. Like, even though I think Celebrini is just an objectively better player, I do think he's also had the benefit of the Sharks surrounding him with, even if it's not necessarily elite talent, they've put him with Tyler Toffoli, who has been a pretty consistent player for his entire career, and they've also got I believe it's Willie Mecklin. But enough with the Sharks, we'll get to them later.
And shout out Will Smith.
Yeah,
The white Will
the
Smith.
Blackhawks, they have Bedard, they have Knight. Vlasic's a good defenseman. They're still waiting on Levshinov to break out, but he's been having issues, as young defensemen do. But they're still building. I'd put them in that second to last here. So just because they don't really have much going for them other than those 3.
A big shout out to the Chicago Blackhawks. You're better than Calgary. Congratulations. As for the Colorado Avalanche, we'll go ahead and put them in cup favorites because no duh, they have the best record in the league right now. If we could pull this up real quick and look at some of the talent on their roster, even after losing Mikko Rantanen last season to Carolina and then Dallas, 37-9-9. They're only just now starting to slip a little bit. Logan O'Connor seems to be the one injury, but as for this roster, McKinnon's unbelievable. Natchez has been great. Makar's Makar. This team should go in a deep playoff run. I do wonder if there is the Wedgwood-Blackwood goaltending duo has been stout for them as well. I do wonder if there is a 2023 Boston Bruins or 2019 Tampa Bay Lightning. I don't want to say pressure. I mean, every team there's pressure in the playoffs, but that kind of nerve of it's cup or bust. And I feel like these teams that just dominate the regular season, they fall back to earth in the postseason more likely than they should. This is probably the last year I picked the Avalanche to go far because I feel like I've done it every year since they won the Cup, and they keep screwing me because they couldn't hold that third period lead against the Stars. I guess the question with the Avalanche is, do we like their chances of holding form in the division, because they are in easily the best division in hockey, with Dallas and Minnesota hot on the trail. I think Minnesota actually passed Dallas. They did. They're only 5 points. They are 5 points up on Minnesota with 3 games in hand. So maybe it's a bit of an overreaction. But what do we think about Colorado's pass? I can't even speak. What do we think about Colorado's prospects as the bottom half of the season winds up?
Yeah, I think the thing with the Avalanche is that they're stacked from top to bottom. Nature's, obviously everybody's gonna compare him to Rantanen. I think they're pretty equal in like skill and talent, but I think Nature's fits the Avalanche better. He's fast, Rantanen was slow, so I think that helps a lot with McKinnon because McKinnon likes good skaters, hard workers like Lehkonen and Natchez and whatnot. Um, the issue with the Avalanche is that without if Landeskog goes down again, it's not going to be good. This team, it seems like everything just falls apart mentally when their captain's not there. We saw it the last 3 years, and especially in the playoffs. This year though, when Landeskog was playing, they were on there. Nobody could beat him.
Except for Dallas.
But even with that, the power play, it is the league's worst power play on the league's best team.
Really?
And yes,
Who's on the line? McKinnon and McCarr?
So, yes. So with a power play consisting of McKinnon, McCarr, Natchez, Lehkonen, Brock Nelson, it's
the worst in the league.
shockingly bad.
I'm looking this up.
I mean, from what I've seen is McKinnon's basically the de facto power play coach, and he's just not been making adjustments when we need the adjustments, and so it's just hopefully the Olympics will all the guys coming back with their different power play units will help hopefully fix it, but right now the thing that will end the Avalanche season, especially in the playoffs, is the power play. Is if they don't get it fixed by then, that's what's going to cause the Avalanche to lose. Because goaltending's great, defense is the best it's been in years, best it's been since 21-22, because they brought in Brent Burns, 40-year-old Brent Burns, who's been pretty
15%?
incredible for us.
Jeez.
He's helped Manson get his game back. Josh Manson's been kind of a shell of his former self the last like 2 or 3 years, but this year he's brought it back. Sam Malinsky is having a breakout season for a 27-year-old. Sam Girard, even though nearly every Avalanche fan wants to trade him, I think he's still been pretty good. And of course, Brock Nelson, who everybody sort of rightfully clowned on us for giving up so much for him last year and then losing in the first round. He's been incredible for us. One of the best defensive centers in the whole game. But yeah, it's just, again, if the Avalanche don't get the power play going, they're going to lose in the playoffs, and they're going to lose early. But otherwise, they're a cup favorite.
I mean, if y'all get the Ducks or the Sharks or whoever in the first round, and it goes more than 5 games, y'all should be ashamed of yourself. But we can move on to the Columbus Blue Jackets. Probably the hottest team in the NHL right now. It kind of went under the rug for me for a while until I checked. I think they've won like 8 games in a row or something. The Columbus Blue Jackets.
They are 9-1 in their last 10.
Jesus, they've won 7 in a row. All of a sudden, they have 65 points, and they are they're actually not in a wild card spot. They are 4 points out. But probably the hottest team in the league in terms of win streak, if I could look this up real quick, because Tampa's won 5 in a row. Let's see. The Stars have won 6. Minnesota's won 5. So, yeah, they're the hottest team in the league in terms of win streak. I do want to ask... I think there's nowhere to put them but on the bubble, because it's kind of the same thing as Boston and Buffalo, where we agree that they're a solid team, but with how crowded the East is, I don't know if they're making the playoffs. So my question is, can the Blue Jackets, is this a fluke? Do you think what Columbus is doing is a fluke, or do we think it's something that they can hold on to?
I mean, I think they'll be able to carry it to the playoffs, but they won't go far because a big part of what sparked this winning streak is that they fired their head coach. I believe it was Dean Evison, to start the season, and now they have Rick Bowness. And Rick Bowness is a really good regular season head coach, but as evidenced by his last season in Winnipeg 2 years ago, when it comes playoff time, he will not make the changes required when things start going bad.
So he's Peter DeBoer. Got it.
Pretty much.
Well, I would like to see Columbus in the playoffs. That would be kind of cool, but we can kind of pivot to Dallas, and this is my opportunity to complain about something that's bothered me in the NHL for a long time, and is this ridiculous playoff format. Because I think Dallas has to be in. I'm gonna put them in Cup favorites. Obviously, there could be more than one, but because this is a roster with talent, they're drowning in it. Rantanen, Johnston, they have Dodonov, Ottinger, who am I forgetting? Robertson. They have so many stars, ironically they named the Stars, and yet in the first round, they're going to play the Wild, who are the third best team in the conference. The three best teams in the Central Division, or the three best teams in the Central Division, are the three best teams in the Western Conference, and maybe three of the 4 or 5 best teams in the league. I know Tampa's in that conversation now too, but they might be the 3 best teams in the league, and 2 of them are going to play in the first round. Could you imagine for basketball? Could you imagine if the Knicks play the Celtics in the first round and it's a 2v3?
That's ridiculous. I've never been a fan of the wild card format. I liked it when it was 1 through 8.
Just do 1
I don't
through
know.
8.
It just made more sense to me. Yeah.
So let's do this real quick. This Dallas is in Cup favorites. I don't even think it's debatable. Right now, the playoff format will go. Colorado would face, give me a second, the second wildcard team, which is the Ducks, I believe. Yeah, because Utah's first. So Avalanche play the Ducks. The Wild play Dallas. And then the winner of that series plays, presumably, Colorado. And then meanwhile, you have the Oilers and the Kraken in the first round, both of which are double-digit points behind Dallas and Minnesota. And then Vegas gets Utah. And if it was 1 through 8, it would be I think it'd be Colorado, Anaheim anyway, and then it would be Minnesota, Utah. Then you have
It'd be Minnesota, Seattle.
Minnesota, Seattle. No, because Anaheim would be the 8th seed. Oh yeah. Then the Seattle has 63 points as well. Minnesota, Seattle, Dallas, and Utah, Vegas, and the Oilers. Correct.
It would be Dallas and the Oilers, and then
Dallas
Vegas
and the Oilers.
And Utah.
That is so much better. Like the playoff format. You know what? Since we're talking about Minnesota, let's just get Minnesota out of the way. Do we think they belong in Cup favorites too, with getting Quinn Hughes, or are they? Because they're ahead of Dallas right now. Do you think they belong in Cup favorites as well?
Yeah, I think I'm not against putting both of them in Cup favorites. I will say, like, Dallas, I think they're a little bit carried by their power play and goaltending, but that's not a bad thing to be carried by.
Yeah, goaltending.
Minnesota, I think, I think their depth is a little questionable, but they've also had really great goaltending, and Kaprizov has been incredible. I think their biggest issue right now is that they don't really have a true first line center, and they really need one. Hartman's okay. Eriksson Ek is really good, but I think he's more fit for the second line. Their wingers are really good. Their defense is really good, but not having great center depth is not a great. It's just not great for when it comes to playoff time. I think it's fair to put them in Cup favorites if you like, but it's kind of a flip-flop.
It's just mind-boggling to me that we have 3 teams in Cup favorites and 2 of them are going to play in the first round.
And 2 of them are going to be eliminated by the conference.
At least two of them will be eliminated before the conference final. Like, guaranteed.
I hate this format. I wish it was just like.
Like I remember one year we knew it would be Tampa, Toronto in the first round for like the last 2 months of the year.
Yep.
But I can't stand it. On to the Red Wings. We don't need to go into too much detail on the Red Wings because we kind of talked about them in the beginning. But like you said, the Iser plan is finally coming to fruition. It's Raymond, it's Larkin. They have John Gibson. Maybe Anaheim would be in a better spot if they still had John Gibson. But I think we can confidently put the Red Wings, who will probably see Montreal in the first round,
Yep.
in tier 2. I don't know, tier 2 contenders. They are marginally behind the Carolina Hurricanes. Do we put Here's the question with Detroit. I think they're easily better than Anaheim, but they're easily not quite as good as Carolina. Are they closer to Detroit? Are they closer to Carolina, or are they closer to the Ducks?
They're close to Carolina, absolutely.
Okay.
Especially when we start getting to some of the Pacific teams. I think the Red Wings belong in that second tier. Um, yeah, like we said, the Iser plan's finally shaping up to be what it was planned to be.
Should we just put the
Um,
Montreal Canadiens next to them since they're right next to each other? Should we just
Pretty
get that out
much,
of the way?
yeah. I think
That'd be a
there's a
good
little bit more.
series.
I think there's a little bit more of a question with the Canadians because they're so young, but
They played the Capitals pretty tough last year, even though they lost in 5. Because Game
yeah.
1 went to overtime. Game 2 was up for grabs with a minute left, but they couldn't score after they pulled their goalie. They took Game 3. Game 4 was tied late, and then Game 5 wasn't that competitive. But it was a fairly competitive 5-game series with Washington. I'd probably pick Montreal in a series if they
Yeah.
played each other.
Yeah,
But
I think that's fair to put Montreal where they are.
all right, so we have the Detroit and Montreal in tier 2 contenders, and one of them will be out of the first round because they have to play each other in the first round, which is just fantastic. But for the Oilers, this is a weird one because they have been in a funk of funks as of late. We had Draisaitl talking smack about their goalies, justifiably so, because their goaltending is I feel like it's been a mess ever since they had this McDavid Draisaitl core. If we could pull this up real quick, obviously McDavid and Draisaitl are the first. You have the best hockey player on the planet, and then probably a top 5 hockey player on the planet. And then Bouchard's an excellent offensive defenseman, 63 points in 58 games as a defenseman. Nugent Hopkins and Hyman, they have so much offensive skill. And then you scroll down a little bit. Connor Ingram, 897. Stuart Skinner, 891. Calvin Pickard, 871. The Tristan Jarry acquisition has been a total whiff. I mean, if you look at the Oilers, how many seasons can they let bad goaltending sink their season? Because they tried to get Jack Campbell They got Jack Campbell a couple years ago, tried to make that work. That was a train wreck. I don't even think is he even in the league anymore? Because he was like
I don't think so.
he was like
I
a
don't think he's in the league anymore.
he was kind of a hot commodity like 3 years ago. I mean,
Yeah,
3,
he was
4
he
years
was really
ago.
good with Toronto one year, and then the Oilers were like, okay, he's hot, we'll get him, and then he stunk it up. I
Is
think
it their defense? Is their defense just not good?
it's a little bit of both. Like Jari was having a really good year with Pittsburgh before he came over. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he had with Pittsburgh, he had a 909 save percentage, 266 goals against average, and that has dropped to an 869 save percentage and 364 goals against average with Edmonton. So I think a lot of it is a defense issue. I'm not a huge fan of Bouchard, but I think he's better than some people say. I don't think he's worth the like $10 million contract he gave him, but he is one of the best offensive defensemen in the league. Ekholm has had a down year as far as much as I can remember. I think Wallman's been injured a lot of the year, but he's pretty good. Nurse is awful. And their defensive systems just isn't good. I think they brought back Paul Coffey, who was there for a few years as their defense coach, but yeah, it's just their defense is not great. Their goaltending's also not great. It's hard not to put them in that second tier when they have McDavid and Draisaitl,
That's where I'd put them
but
easily.
with with the rest of their team, it's also hard to not put them in that low end playoff team
But with the
tier.
West being, the way I see it, the West is not great, and you still have McDavid and Draisaitl who have made back-to-back Stanley Cup Finals, and that the core of their forward core is still together. And Stuart Skinner has, I don't know. when the playoffs start, I don't know who they're going to use as their goalie. They'll probably just do a revolving door of whoever has the hot hand.
Skinner is on the Penguins right now.
Yeah, traded.
Yeah, he got traded with.
I forgot about
Jarry.
that. Why did I
He
think
part
it
of the
was?
Jarry trade.
Why did I think that was for a pick?
They had picks.
I guess right now it would be Connor Ingram. Is he still there?
It is Jarry
Yeah, he
and
is.
Ingram. It is
I guess
Jarry and Ingram.
I just think if their goaltending can become respectable, they can go on a run again. I don't think it's fair. I don't know if they'll do a whole lot in the playoffs. I think they can easily win a series against the Kraken. I'd probably pick them, honestly, because their forward core is so good. But
Absolutely.
it is. And heck, round 2, you're going to get either Vegas or a wildcard team, presumably, neither of which is that scary. Like, if Edmonton's in the conference final again, I wouldn't be stunned. So I'd go tier 2 contenders.
Yeah, I guess so.
Both goalies are 6-4-1.
Jesus. That's
6-4-1. Yeah.
But for the Panthers, the team that's beaten them in back-to-back Stanley Cup finals, I believe they're in last place, if I'm not mistaken, unless they jumped.
I think they're second to last in the East.
No,
they're 8th.
They're last. They are tied for third worst in the East. They're ahead of the Devils and the Rangers. This is the weird thing with Florida because they have so many injuries. I believe they recently got Kachuk back. Is Barkov out for the whole regular season?
He is. I don't think he's out for the whole regular season. I think he might. I think there's a chance he comes back at the end. If not, he'll probably be back by like round 1 if they even make it. They've just been not great this year. Like even like I feel like even if they had Barkov, there's just something wrong with him. Again, I know it firsthand with the Avalanche that not having your captain really sucks, especially for an extended period of time. And sometimes the team mentality just kind of they just don't know what to do without their captain sometimes.
Also, 3 cup finals in a row. That's so much more hockey than everyone else. They're probably exhausted.
Absolutely. I mean
it happened to Tampa.
I think.
Yeah, didn't even think of it like that.
It's just if they get hot and they weasel into the playoffs again, I'll probably pick them to win. I might pick them to go all the way again if they get Barkov back. If they can get hot and make
having the refs in their pockets or being in the refs' pockets,
Yeah, because the league lets them do whatever they want. They play
Campbell calling up the league to get them a favor.
Yeah, they play by a different set of rules. So if with that and their pedigree, if they make the playoffs, if they can get hot and weasel into the playoffs and get Barkov back, I think they're as dangerous as any team in the league. I just don't think they're making the playoffs. So you can almost argue for any spot on here because they are bad.
I think right now, I think as it currently stands, I think they'd be in the second to last tier. I don't want to put them in a bubble team because I think there are other teams. They're like even as close as the East is. I just think right now they don't have it.
We'll let Mark be the tiebreaker. I will vote for on the bubble because we've seen what they're capable of. Like we've said, they play by a different set of rules. They are allowed to play different than everybody else. It gives them a leg up because I think the vice president of player safety used to play for the Panthers, and Colin Campbell's son works for the Panthers, so the Panthers can do whatever they want. And obviously, the talent is brilliant. We know what Bobrovsky can do. We know what all of their pieces can do. All they need is a hot streak, and they're in the mix. So, but it's unlikely. So I'll pass it over to Mark, and you can be the tiebreaker.
Well, they need a hot streak, and they need the Bruins or Sabres to have a cold streak,
which is very possible. Like that could totally happen.
I mean, it can, but like, will it?
Let's say they weasel into that second wildcard spot. They play the Canes or Lightning in the first round. The Lightning, who they've beaten twice already in the postseason. Like, if they go to the playoffs, back comes Alexander Barkov. I think this is the last year they can do the whole salary cap thing where they could have someone.
No, that's already.
It's gone now.
They already are. Yep. I think the new CBA doesn't technically go into effect until next year, but they did bring in a few of the rules like the LTIR. I think you can only be like 2.5 million. I think you can. So the rule is that you can still have the roster over the salary cap in the playoffs, but you can only ice a team that's up to 2.5 million over the cap.
Just my thing is, if they make the playoffs, they're as dangerous as anybody, and they could totally win the cup again if they make the playoffs. Just
Yeah.
their upside is so high, but it's an
Let's-
uphill
let's
battle to
go.
even make it.
Let's go bubble.
All right, I
Let's go
win.
bubble. Yeah.
Yeah, eat it. I win.
If you're ordering it, I'd put them at like the very bottom of bubble.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not particularly ordering it. Maybe we can mess with that after, but they are last. I think they're fourth.
It's just not over. Like it's
Yeah.
not over for them,
Yeah,
but they're
I
in a
agree.
difficult spot.
You can't
It's not
count a
over
team like
because
them
they're
out.
in the East.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can't count out a team like that who has such prestige and such an advantage, and they're stout at the areas where you need to be stout in a Stanley Cup playoffs. Goaltending and defense, physicality, they have that in spades. So I just if they weasel in, I'm probably picking them to make the final again. Like seriously, just if it's do they make it? So I agree with on the bubble, but now we can move to the LA Kings, who it's the good news is it's looking like they won't have to play the Oilers again in the playoffs. The bad news is they might not even make it. They lost Fiala, which is brutal. I think we were talking about this before the recording. He's a top 6 forward on that roster. Yeah. They switch out Fiala basically for Artemi Panarin, beloved New York Ranger for some, hated for others, depending on what you think of him. But I mean, you still have Kempe. Fiala's their second scorer at 40 points, followed by Byfield and Perry, and after that, it's kind of unappealing. Kemper's a flat 900. He leads the league in overtime shootout losses. I thought that meant something. They are in a predicament. I guess we could talk about the Kings for a minute before we rank them. Switching out Fiala for Panarin, are they like marginally better or worse?
I think it might be a little bit better. It's interesting because like there's I think from what I've read is that there's a chance Fiala returns for the playoffs. That does complicate things because now if they want to like risk Fiala returning for the playoffs, they can't really trade for anybody. Or if they do trade for anybody, that's basically confirming that Fiala's season is over. So
Do we agree
I
they're on the
think,
bubble?
yeah, they're on the bubble, absolutely.
Probably the bubble team. Are they ahead of Florida? Should we put them ahead of Florida?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Goaltending has been really good. Their forward group is, I mean, it's interesting because it's Kopitar's last year. Kempe is still really good. He just got that massive extension. Laferriere, I think, has been pretty good. Byfield is good, but there's still a lot left to be desired about Byfield's play. He still hasn't. He's been pretty disappointing with what his potential is. And I think that's one thing. Like if he can like start getting hot, I think they'll absolutely make the playoffs. If they run into the Oilers, they're cooked. But
they're losing to the Oilers. You can bet that much. Connor Ingram. Ingram will turn into Martin Brodeur.
I also forgot. Their defensive core is hot dog shit. They got rid of Gavrikov, and some guy who's on the Senators now, but it's been interesting because they got rid of Gavrikov, who's on the Rangers, who's having a really good year on the Rangers. Jordan Spence. So Jordan Spence and Gavrikov are just as expensive as Brian Dumoulin and Cody Ceci, and I think every team in the NHL would have Gavrikov and Spence over Dumoulin and Ceci because Dumoulin and Ceci are both awful defensemen that got way more money than they deserve.
How is Ceci still in the league? I feel like it's been established that he's terrible for like 7 years.
Oh, he got a 4.5 million per year contract.
Why?
For 4 years.
Oh my god.
Because Ken Holland is a hockey terrorist.
Is it a drinking buddy thing?
Well, Ken Holland was the Oilers GM couple years ago before he got fired, and
Stan Bowman's in Edmonton to run them into the ground.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
Stan Bowman being Stan Bowman having that. I can understand a hockey team taking the PR disaster on Joe Quenneville because he's a really good coach. So I can understand Anaheim dealing with it for a good coach. Stan Bowman is a bad GM and he's a bad person. And Edmonton takes the PR disaster for a bad GM. I should have talked about that when we were talking about the Oilers. That baffles me. You know he's going to make bad trade after bad trade, and that they're just going to deteriorate over the years. I wouldn't be stuck.
They went from Ken Holland to Dan Bowman, which is going from shit to shit.
Wasn't Chiarelli before them? Or was there someone in between?
I don't remember.
I mean...
But yeah, I think Kings are bubble.
Yeah,
I think we can all agree.
But anyway, Nashville, I might be in position for a little bit of a hot take because they are kind of in that playoff mix. They're way better than last year. I don't know if you want to be quick about it, Zach, you could give like a minute on what Nashville is doing better than they were last year because they're at 59 points. They're a few points out of a playoff spot. I'm going to put them in weak, the tier below on the bubble. I know they should be a bubble team. I also just don't think they're very good, and I don't really see a team like Nashville that's really old getting hot down the stretch of a season like they did a couple of years ago when they canceled the U2 concert. I would put Nashville in the weak tier because I don't see them getting past probably a younger, more energetic Ducks team for that last wildcard spot. But if you want a minute on what the Predators are doing better than last year to at least be respectable, you can go ahead and take the floor.
Yeah, I think it's just Saros, but Saros has been slightly better, or I think. I'm not sure. Stamkos has found a bit of a groove. O'Reilly is still pretty good, but he might get traded. Marchessault has still kind of been, but yeah, I think they've probably been just maybe a little more lucky this year as a big part of it. They're kind of the same team as last year, but probably just a little bit more lucky, and sometimes that's all a team needs to be good. I mean, I think they're just a little more lucky.
Do you contest my? Do you or Mark contest me putting them in weak below?
No,
like
not
Buffalo.
at all.
And...
No.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
They deserve to be there.
Yeah. New Jersey, we'll go in and put them in Guantanamo Bay. I don't feel like spending more than 30 seconds on the freaking Devils. This team, I think they were the weakest team in the playoffs last year. I think they were 16 out of 16. That was Carolina beating them was the easiest pick of last year's playoffs. They're injured. I believe they're injured again, unless I'm mistaken. They're dealing with a lot of injuries. Didn't Jack Hughes get hurt
all year?
Yeah, they're injured again.
Jack
Hughes
cut himself with like a knife or something at a dinner, and took himself out. I think so. The Devils have been injured. Their depth is not great. Goaltending.
36-year-old Markstrom, 35-year-old Jake Allen. I mean, come on.
Pretty bad.
Whatever, they're bad. I don't want to spend time on the Devils. They suck.
What ended their season was not getting Quinn Hughes, I think.
I was so confident Quinn Hughes is going to New Jersey. I thought that was like a guarantee. I was like, Florida wins the Wild.
They fucked it up. They fucked it up, and that's what ended.
Did they just not offer enough, or like what happened? Did they even try?
I think it was something with the no trade clauses, because they were trying to move guys that had the no trade clauses, and they couldn't get something done. I'm pretty sure.
That's pretty funny.
I'm pretty sure their offer was actually more than what Minnesota offered.
Well, anyways, it's off to the New York Islanders. I'm not gonna lie. I think the Anaheim Ducks have been pretty lonely in that low end playoff team tier, but I think they're finally gonna get some company. They are the third spot of the Metro. Maybe I'm being a little disrespectful, but they are 32-21-5, have won 6 of their last 10. With Matthew Schaefer, I think the Islanders for the first time, maybe ever, they have some aura. The Islanders are the most auraless franchise, maybe in the history of sports. I don't know if that's a hot take.
Well,
but I mean,
yeah. Now that Lou Amarillo is gone.
But yeah, Schaefer, 39 points in 58 games for Schaefer. Horvat's still there. Barzell, Anders Lee. They're a solid team, all things considered.
I think
they epitomize low end playoff team. They should make the playoffs.
Yeah. I think their goaltending has also been good. I think Sorokin is
Sorokin's
currently
really good.
Sorokin's. I think he should be the favorite for the Vezina right now. Barzell's been really good. Horvat's been great. Palat, he's only been there for a few games, but he's been not too bad. Druin has kind of been pretty iffy. People have expected more from him. Um, the one issue for them though is that Kyle Palmieri, he tore his ACL earlier in the year. Um, they don't have hockey terrorist Alexander Romanov in the lineup anymore. Um,
Jeez.
so that's helped. They have some really good young talent like Cal Ritchie, that they got the Brock Nelson trade. I don't think he hasn't really like fully hit his stride yet, but he has potential. They have a bunch of guys in their system as well that are looking to be really good. I think low end playoff team is fair for them right now. I'm kind of iffy on that, but like I personally might put him in the bubble, but I am fine with putting him in low end playoff just because of how they've performed to this point.
Mark, as the perpetual Islanders hater, what do you think?
Guantanamo Bay.
Okay, gotcha. All right, the Islanders are totally in Guantanamo Bay. But now we can get to your beloved or hated or whatever emotion you're feeling of the New York Rangers. If you want a minute to reiterate their problems, they are, I think, the second worst team in the league after Vancouver.
Yeah.
Which by the way, real quick, I refuse to talk Vancouver's. Let's put Vancouver and Guantanamo and just not even talk about them. But anyway,
Yeah, there's nothing
Vancouver.
there.
What is Vancouver's record? Hold on. They're 18,
They're
33, 6. Holy cow.
Got 42 points. 42 points.
All right, Mark. New York Rangers, they've won 2 of their last 10 games. They've lost 4 straight.
Yeah.
Panarin's gone. Chris Drury's still hanging around. What do you think?
It's just an unfortunate situation. There's, management sucks, coaching sucks.
Shout out Dolan, the owner.
Yeah. Oh my God, he's a dick.
Had to do with Dolan. That's so funny.
I know people who have worked for him. I've never heard one nice thing about him.
That doesn't shock me at all.
I've only heard horrible things. But there's just no chemistry. Like the Rangers have zero hope. There's no chemistry on the ice. There's a lack of leadership. Like the depth isn't depth anymore. No one on the second or third line is playing particularly well. There's not much to say about the Rangers besides they're just a shell of what they were 2 years ago.
It's just so baffling to me because it's the same team virtually. At least going into the year it was. Not anymore.
Miller's gone. Fox is gone. Or sorry, Trouba's gone. And now Panarin's gone. But apart from that, I'm probably missing a few people.
They won the President's Trophy.
First and second line, it's primarily the same people.
And they were up 2-1 on Florida. Like, what happened?
Yeah.
So it's just, hold on. You know what? Let's pull up the reference. It's just
JT Miller is their captain. JT Miller is their captain. Issue.
He's been there for like an hour.
Shesterkin's got a 913. Like, that's great.
Yeah, and he's injured right now, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, well.
The thing, you can't blame Shesterkin because he has no defensive help.
He's really good. He has a 913.
I'm not saying you are.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you are.
He has a 913 with no defensive help, and that's fantastic.
He's still a world-class goalie. He just has no defensive help outside of Fox, and Fox can only do so much.
Rangers world-class goalie can't give him help. What does that remind you of?
A certain someone who I wish got a ring but didn't.
Capitals legend, Henrik Lundqvist. I really wish that actually happened. I was very sad.
Ridiculous.
My last thought on the Rangers is that a reminder that their social media team is not allowed to have direct contact with the players because James Dolan is control freak.
Wait. Run that by me again. The Rangers Twitter accounts they can't.
The social media team is not allowed to have like person-to-person contact with the players because I think one of the players got into a relationship or something and James Dolan like cut that shit out.
Oh my God.
So the Rangers are very strict on who can access their players, and that I feel like that's just a little bit of an insight as to why they are the way that they are.
Do you know Dolan almost got the New York Jets? When their old owner passed away, it was Charles Dolan, his father, of trying to buy the Jets. He lost out to Woody Johnson. So Dolan almost ran the
Really?
Jets too. But anyway.
He is the most like he is such an insecure person. Remember when the Knicks were like really bad, probably like 6 or 7 years ago. He there were people chanting like sell the team, and they were using camera angles and like security guards to find the people who were saying it, and they were banning them for life for
Do you remember the
screaming sell the
email?
team at the
Do you remember
stadium.
do you remember the email he sent to a fan in like
No,
2015? Oh my god.
no,
When you have time, look up
but
James Dolan. Look up James Dolan, Irving Bierman. Very funny story about an angry email he sent back to a fan. But you can look at that while we talk about the Ottawa Senators, who finally made the playoffs last year. They ended, I believe, a 7-year drought. But they are right back to 6th in the Atlantic Division. They are tied in points with the Toronto Maple Leafs. They have the tiebreaker because they have one more regulation win. But they're actually the last 10 games they've won 6 of 10, 6-3-1. But
So the Senators are a really interesting situation because, frankly, like in terms of their skaters, in terms of their forwards, their defense isn't as great, but they're one of the best teams in the NHL when it comes to skaters. Their goaltending though has just been absolute horseshit.
is
Like
Allmark
it
hurt
is.
or is he just bad?
He was bad, and then I think he got hurt, and then he took a leave of absence for like mental health reasons or whatever, and then he's come back, and I think he's been decent since he's returned. But
Yeah, this is.
I would put him in at the lowest low end playoff because I think they are a great team. It's just their goaltending has really hurt them.
So, like, you think low end playoff team at worst?
Honestly, I mean, if they can fix their goaltending, they'd be so much better than where they are right now. But it's just like Omar. I think if Omar gets it together, they're going to be a really good team.
This feels like the Panthers. The Panthers again. I'm cool with the bubble. I think low end playoff
Yeah,
team is generous, but I'm cool with the bubble.
high bubble, high bubble. I'd put
Okay,
them.
that's fine.
Especially
Um,
because the East is so competitive. I think they're only. I mean, they're what 6 points out, but that can change, especially with how streaky the Bruins are.
all right. Well, moving on to the next team, Mark. It's another chance for you to talk about your favorite city, Philadelphia, with the Flyers, who I feel like it's been ages since they've been relevant. I think the bubble was last year. They were really good. 61 points, 25, 20, and 11. 3, 4, and
yeah.
3 in their last 10 games. They got Zegras from were Zegras and Gauthier like traded for each other? Like were they in the same trade?
No,
No.
Gautier, after he wrote somebody that I used to know, he decided not to
Okay.
keep
Jamie
making
Drysdale
music.
was the return
um,
for Gauthier.
I'm going because I'm looking at these stats right now, and how do you? I always butcher his last name, Travis
Konechny.
Conche. How do you?
Konechny.
Konechny.
Hey, get your facts
He's
right,
the
buddy.
only. He's the only. Go fuck yourself. He's the only kind of guy on the team who I see as like a big difference maker. Like everyone else is kind of. Zegers has 49 points. Everyone else is kind of floating in the single digit points to like less than 30. So I don't have much faith there
I would put them.
personally.
I don't think they're Guantanamo, but they're
No,
probably right with
they're not
Chicago.
that bad, but
No.
I'd put them in that second to last tier because it's they're still trying to build, but they also hired Rick Tocchet, and Rick Tocchet, as of late, has been shit talking Matvey Michkov on like podcasts and stuff, and the front office has kind of been in like damage control in a sense. I think Rick Tocchet over the course of this season has like 3 or 4 times called Michkov like out of shape, called him fat basically. Even though Michkov has been, I mean, I think it's pretty known that he was like kind of out of shape at the start of the season, but now I think he just needs a different type of coach to thrive, and I think sooner rather than later they might fuck up the development of Michkov and turn him into like a Lafreniere or Kako type of player where they have potential, but they just they're just not giving him what he needs to succeed. Like it's like Bedard but worse.
Also, Michkov is not of the prestige of Bedard, so weak is fine. But now we can go to another interesting one. Really interesting one because of the developments of the Olympics and the Pittsburgh Penguins. Playing their best hockey they have in a while. I believe they
Crosby's
just...
not so Crosby's not out for this season. I think John Cooper, who is Canada's coach, said that he's day to day. He missed the semifinal, but he hasn't been like ruled out for the gold medal game. It's unlikely he plays, I think, but he's not out for the year. I think the thing with Pittsburgh is that Crosby has obviously been kind of carrying them as he has been the last few years, but this year I think their depth has kind of helped a little bit.
Erik
Russ
Karlsson's
has
still
been
kicking.
good. Raquel's been good. Carlson's been better than his like first couple years in Pittsburgh. Archer Shilovs, who they got from the Canucks, has been pretty good. I think they're a bubble team.
Really?
Not having Crosby
It
doesn't help.
depends. It's
But I would
it's
call-
unfathomable that Crosby and Malkin are still point per game players at 38 and 39 years old respectively. It's as much as I loathe the Pittsburgh Penguins and everything they stand for. I have to wave the cap that's not on my head. That it's impressive that Crosby can give
Yeah,
you
it is.
59. Crosby's still a point per game player at 38 years old, and Malkin's freaking 39 and is still one of the better forward duos in the league.
I just think without Crosby for a while, it was probably going to hurt them.
Well, if he's day to day, it shouldn't be that long.
He's day to day, but they're
it's day to day, but it's also the Olympics, and so like it's kind of like that playoff type situation where a player that's playing in the playoffs would probably get put on the IR in the regular season.
It doesn't feel right to put him behind the Islanders.
He's day to day, but they've got 70 points, and the Sabres only have 70. Bruins have 69. Islanders have 69. Like if they, so some like the Capitals have 65. If some shit just doesn't bounce their way, especially with this injury, they could be out of the wild card spot, let alone a spot in the Metro.
I guess you can't. I guess if Buffalo and Boston are down there, Penguins have to be down there too. Whatever.
Yeah,
the Penguins be lower. It's not going to hurt my feelings. San Jose, they have been in the gutter for the last few years, but now it's Celebrini and Smith. They got Askarov from Nashville. The San Jose is looking fun again. They have this new influx of fans that are totally not annoying in the slightest. But the Sharks, they were in the 8th seed not too long ago. I think they're a couple of points out. They have 58 points, so I think they're a few out. They've entered the All-Star break pretty cold, losing 4 straight. But
I think they're a bubble team.
Yeah, Celebrini has 81 points. Holy shit!
As much as I hate to say it, as much as I would really like to say McKinnon should win the Hart, I think Celebrini. If the Sharks make the playoffs, I think I wouldn't like. I'd hate it, but I wouldn't hate giving Celebrini the Hart.
I knew Celebrini was good at it. I know he had 81 points.
He has been.
Oh my God.
The absolute like. He is what people thought Bedard was gonna be. Celebrini, if he keeps it up, if he breaks what Crosby was doing in his second year, I think he deserves that generational tag because it's been 11 years since not Crosby, sorry, McDavid. It's been like 10, 11 years since McDavid was drafted, since he came in the league, since he became that generational young superstar talent, and I think Celebrini. I know a lot of people don't like throwing the generational term around, but I think he deserves to be in that conversation.
Pete Alonso just hit a homer for the Orioles in spring training. Let's go, baby. Anyway, so I'll give you the bubble. We're not particularly doing this in order. Should I put them ahead of Florida?
Yeah.
Even though they have less points than Florida.
The main issue with the Sharks is that their defense is hot dog shit. They're
also still rebuilding. I mean,
yeah, they have washed Dmitry Orlov.
They have
bad Mario Ferraro,
Stanley Cup
Vincent Desharnais, Liljegren, Klingberg. It's not a great core, but it could get them to the playoffs. And if they get to the playoffs again, I think Celebrini wouldn't be the worst Hart winner.
Yeah.
Uh,
The thing I
what?
love, this is kind of off topic, but just like, talking about some of these rebuilding teams, the thing that I feel like is unique to the NHL to an extent is that rebuilding teams still kind of like a lot of the times, like they get into the playoffs, they have they usually they get bounced, but they at least can like compete and
The
make it.
young, the
Whereas
young Leafs.
yeah. Like, whereas in like the NFL, you don't see, even with the extended playoff, you don't really see that. Like in the NBA, like sure you could get the stupid play-in tournament thing, but like that means nothing to me. Like that's nonsense. And then in the MLB, nobody makes the playoffs, so it's
Actually,
like well more now,
actually,
but
actually, the
next,
MLB
and
is
then if I won.
grammatically incorrect. But anyway, with that being said, it's time for the Kraken. They are in. I think they're in a playoff spot, and I think they're in a playoff spot right
Yeah,
now.
they are in a playoff spot right now.
Are they low end playoff team or are they a bubble?
How many are in low end and how many are in bubble right now?
Is way more are in bubble. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 8 teams in bubble, and we have 2 teams in low end playoff team.
Okay.
Are the Kraken in a category with the Ducks and the Islanders, or are they with the Bruins, Sabres, Blue Jackets, Kings, etc.?
It's
63
really
points.
difficult.
They're pretty. They're hot going into the. They've won 5 of their last 6 going into the All-Star break.
The thing is I just it's kind of hard because
No
I
one
haven't
has
heard
40 points.
nobody's talking about the Kraken. That's the problem. They're
There's
just
not a
kind of
single
quiet.
Kraken with 40 points, but Grubauer has a Matt Murray has a 922. Holy Jesus.
The thing with the Kraken is they're kind of just doing the thing and nobody is paying attention to them. So it's kind of hard to talk about them
Probably because
when
no
not
one
a
on the
lot
team
of
has 40
people.
points.
Yeah, when not a lot of people really know how good they are. I think you might need to put them in bubble just because they're in the Pacific. Like you said, their offense isn't really doing much. They're playing super like low event hockey, so they're not scoring a lot of points, but I don't think they're giving up too many either. Or scoring a lot of goals, whatever. So I think bubble would be fine.
Should we move a team in? So here's who we have in the bubble right now: Boston, Buffalo, Pittsburgh, Columbus, LA, Ottawa, Seattle, San Jose, Florida. Is there a team we should move up? I think you
I'd
can
say either. I'd say either like.
maybe move up Buffalo.
Yeah, I'm thinking you might need to move up Buffalo with how hot they've been.
You know what? We'll do them a solid. We'll move Buffalo up.
Yeah, I think.
I'm
All
gonna
right.
I'm gonna make a hot take. My hot take for the episode. I think the Kraken are gonna miss. I think.
Well, it sounds like they're
I think
super
that-
boring. So do us a solid and miss.
Yeah.
Let San Jose in. Let Celebrini get some playoff action.
Yeah.
Let Celebrini get a hat trick and a 7-3 loss to the Avalanche.
Yeah,
As they get
exactly.
eliminated.
Get some aura going into the playoffs. At least San Jose can look good while they lose to the Avalanche. St. Louis Blues, I think this is a pretty safe shoe-in for Guantanamo Bay. One of the worst teams in the league. I'll tell you what, last year when we did our bracket picks, I picked St. Louis to beat Winnipeg, and I picked Colorado to beat Dallas. Going into the third period of Game 7, it looked like I'd get both right, and I got both wrong. I don't know what the hell has happened to the Blues, but they're one of the worst teams in the league. I think they're in last place in a top-heavy Central Division, which would tell you something.
They are
in last?
second to last in the West by about 7 points, surprisingly, because the
they're in
Vancouver
Guantanamo.
Canucks are just horrible. But
The Blues. I hear people calling them
Blues-
I hear people calling them the Colorado Rockies of hockey.
I mean, yeah, their defense is absolutely awful. They still have, I mean, Pareko's been pretty good. Broberg has been decent. Logan Mailloux is like one of the worst players like in the NHL period, and somehow he's currently on their NHL roster. Cam Fowler, I think he was good last year, but he's bad this year. Somehow Jordan Binnington, or no, sorry, I shouldn't say somehow. Jordan Binnington's GM did him a favor and put him on Team Canada over Mackenzie Blackwood or Scott Wedgwood. Either one would have been better, especially with how Binnington almost cost Canada this semifinal game today. But yeah, I mean, Binnington's just been really
Has he
bad.
been bad? He
I
has
think
been
so.
He's
bad.
been
Ooh,
really
he
bad.
is bad. Wow, 8, 17, and 6. Eesh.
Gee,
Yeah, he's been
what's his
awful.
Wow.
hold on? What's his save percentage? He is at an 864. Okay, that is not going to cut it.
That's pretty awful.
Joel
That
Hofer is
is
better.
worse. That is worse than Alexander Georgiev last year, and we shipped off Georgiev for Blackwood like in December.
I mean, jeez.
But Doug Armstrong's got to keep his guy on the team.
Yeah, that's how it works. But anyway, that's enough of St. Louis. They suck. I'm still mad at them for screwing my bracket by giving up the goal with 2 seconds left. But the Tampa Bay Lightning are next. Complete opposite ends of the spectrum. I don't know how Tampa keeps doing it, but they just will not go away. It's still Kucherov. It's still Hedman. It's still Vasilevsky. Much of the nucleus of the Cup-winning team is still the Cups-winning team is still there. They made the right move by letting Stamkos go. They got a lot of flack for that. It ended up being the right move. He's not the same player with Nashville. I'm putting them in Cup favorites, and I don't even know if it's up for debate.
Absolutely.
They're the hottest team in the league right now. It's very impressive how they're a team that just does not go away. I believe they have McDonough back.
Like I was saying, they've been doing this all with a lot of injuries. Like Hedman, I think he was hurt for a while, but he came back, and then I think he got hurt in the Olympics, like in warm-ups or something in the quarterfinals against USA. But yeah, like Hagel's been really good. Braden Point, I think he had a slow start to the year, but he's been amazing. Kucherov has, I think he's been the hottest player in the league since like game 15 or something. Gensel has been really good. Their depth has been really good. Again, Darren Radich is having a breakout season. He's going to get a beefy check in the offseason, whether it's from Tampa or whether it's from another team. Vasilevsky found his groove again. JJ Moser has been absolutely incredible. Tampa got him from the Sergachev trade, which is also pretty controversial. But yeah, I mean, JJ Moser's been one of the best defensive defensemen in the league. McDonough's been really good since he came back. He had I think he had a couple down years in Nashville, but again, he's back with Tampa and he's doing really great. They are, like you said, the hottest team in the league. I'd put them at second and like likeliness to win the cup or whatever. They're a machine. Hopefully, I hope if the Avalanche make it to the cup, I hope someone defeats the Lightning because I do not want to face them.
Who does? They had their cup fatigue after making it to 3 in a row. They took a couple of years off, and now they're back. But there's no real debate with them. But now we can get into the Toronto Maple Leafs. There's 5 teams left. There's only one team left that I really want to talk about in depth, and believe it or not, it's not my Capitals, but it's more about the Leafs. Because I think this is an interesting one. First of all, let's get this out of the way. I'm putting them in weak. I don't think they deserve to be on the bubble. They are decisively they are decisively not a good hockey team. But this is where things get funny. Because this team, I'm sure there are certain Leafs fans on the internet that have said it probably better than I can, but the Leafs lost the cup, their chance at the cup in 24, 25, and 26. They lost that in 23 when they didn't trade Marner. That whole saga with Marner and the Leafs is one of the most damning incidents of roster construction I've ever seen. Because they finally won their series in 2023. They got kicked in the mouth. Kicked in the mouth? That's a new one. They got punched in the mouth by Florida, out in 5 games. And then they have a 5-week gap before Mitch Marner's no movement clause kicks in for the final 2 years of his contract. So this is your last chance to trade him. And you could get, how old was Marner in 2023? Wasn't he like 24? Or something?
Like that.
You could get the moon and the stars for a top 5 scorer who's in his mid-20s. You could get the mountain for him and keep pushing long-term. But with the uncertainty of a Marner extension up in the air, they don't move him. They let the no-movement clause kick in. The 2 years go by. They don't win because they're the Leafs. And now Marner's gone. You got Nick Waugh in return. Well, I mean, if they traded Marner, could the Leafs have gotten Rantanen from the ad? I mean, could that have been a thing?
I mean, they were in contention. They were in contention even. I think they were going to trade. I think the plan was to trade Marner for Rantanen.
But they wanted to when he had his no movement clause. So they called Marner.
Yeah.
We're like, hey,
Yeah.
hey, buddy,
Do-
you want to? Hey, buddy, you want to uproot your entire life to move to Colorado? And Marner's like, no. Hey, you want to pack your bags
Or
out
no,
of Carolina? No.
they were gonna put him in Carolina, I think.
I
Because
mean,
I think when the Avs were shopping Rantanen, I think to Toronto was an option, but I don't think I
Toronto,
don't think
Dallas,
the
and Florida were the 3 teams that
Yeah,
he would
but
extend with.
that was from Carolina. That was when Carolina had him, and they
Yeah.
knew he wasn't going to extend with them. But yeah, I mean, even like with the Leafs, Kyle Dubas wanted to trade Marner, but I think
And he got fired for it. Like,
yeah, he got fired for it. Then he's been proved right so far. But yeah, I think they're weak. Defense is shit. Matthews is not as good as he was. Nye
and he shouldn't be
is
the captain,
pretty
by the
good.
way. Respectfully,
Um,
nothing against
Goaltending
Matthews.
has been shaky, but their both goaltenders have been like on and off in and out of the lineup with injuries. I just put them weak. I don't think we need to talk anymore about them.
Yeah, I can't believe they didn't trade Marner. That's mind blowing. But speaking of Marner, he is now in Vegas, and they are next on the list. We've been making fun of the Pacific all episode, so I think we can do the
They're
same thing
low
with
in
Vegas.
playoff.
Really?
They're
They're in
low in
first. They're in first place, and it's still Eichel
Yeah, but
and.
like I don't know if we said this while recording, but they have more total losses than they have total wins.
Oh, really? That's pretty funny.
Yeah, they are being absolutely carried by overtime losses right now. They lead the league, tied with the LA Kings.
With their situation and being in a weak division, you're probably, assuming you win the division, which I'd give you good odds of doing so, you're probably getting a wild card team in the first round. Then the second round, you'll either get
first wild card.
You'll either get the defensively challenged Oilers or the offensively challenged Kraken. So my point is, sort of the same thing with the Oilers. If Vegas is in the conference final, I wouldn't be shocked. And from there on, anything is possible. I would put them at the bottom of tier 2 contenders. I think if the Oilers are in there, Vegas has to as well.
I just think like I agree that like I wouldn't be surprised if we see them in the conference finals, but they're just not that good of a team. Like I think they've had injuries. Like Carlson, I think is out for the year. McNabb's injured. Petrangelo's career is probably done.
They can't abuse
Having
the
Marner
LTIR
helps,
anymore.
but I just
Jesus Christ!
they
Look
just
at this. No Carter Hart, no Brett Howden, Carlson, McNabb, Ronberg, Sod, and Sissons.
I just don't think they're just not a menacing team like they were a few years ago. So I think they get put in low end, even if they can luck into the conference finals.
That's fair enough. I won't. Mark, you gonna contest that?
No,
Okay.
I don't think so.
Pretty quiet episode for you, I guess. But I guess with the Rangers being so bad,
I'm
you're
just
tuned out.
Yeah, I've been very tuned out, so I'm just kind of listening.
But another team, Winnipeg. It feels wrong.
They're old and slow.
So did Hellebuck fall off, or is the team around him just really bad?
I think,
or is it both?
I don't think Hellebuck's had a down year. I think he's been a little bit injured, but they are also just really old and really slow.
They're another team where I never understood.
They have a
upside.
top line, but outside of that, it's just been, or I guess they kind of have a top 6, but their bottom 6 is awful. Jonathan Taves has been not great. Defense has been pretty bad. Josh Morrissey has been like their only consistent defenseman.
I just remember when they were contending, I was like, okay, a team where your best players are Mark Scheifele and Kyle Connor. Yeah, that team's gonna win you the cup.
Yeah.
But now they're older and slower. Are they in Guantanamo or are they in weak?
I think that's the weird thing, because like they're not gonna make the playoffs. I really doubt they're gonna make the playoffs.
No chance.
But
Hellebuck's got a rough record, 13, 16, and 7.
But they're not Rangers. They're not Rangers bad. They're not.
Yeah,
Devils bad.
I think Hellebuck is barely good enough to not put him in that bottom tier.
Okay, I won't argue that. Utah
as a player.
Yeah.
Utah is a bubble team.
Utah's a bubble team. They're in that. We've kind of talked with them a little bit with the whole
They've
Pacific.
had great goaltending. Their young talent has kind of come onto the scene. Keller's been really good. Who is it? Logan Cooley's been great. Paterka, who they traded for, part of that Josh Doan trade that I mentioned. Dylan Gunther's been really good. Their goaltending's, as far as I'm aware, has been really good. Defense sometimes leaves a little bit to be desired, but like they are kind of, I don't want to say they're low event hockey, but sometimes they can kind of win in that style. They did that versus the Avs in one of their games. They've played the Avs really tough in all of our games against them so far. But yeah, I mean, I think I think they're just a really solid bubble team, maybe high up in the bubble.
And finally, my Washington Capitals. I feel like injuries, a couple things with the Capitals, because they were the best team in the East last year, at least in the regular season. Injuries have not been kind to them. No Connor McMichael since the end of January. Lindgren's out, or at least he was. What's his situation? For participant in practice, and he feels ready to return to the lineup. They were missing Tom Wilson for a while, and during that stretch of not having Tom Wilson, they were one of the worst teams in hockey. Ovechkin, it's very depressing to watch Ovechkin because that man just cannot skate anymore. It really hurts my soul.
He still score goals.
He can still shoot. He can still shoot, but he can't really skate that much anymore.
He's gotta. He plays like he doesn't mind drooling the rest of his life.
Yeah, he's gonna finish his career in Russia like he said he wanted to.
Yeah, very sad that we won't be able to get him 1,000 goals, but it is what it is. At least he broke Gretzky's record.
Tom Wilson's been pretty good this year.
Dude, Wilson's our best player, straight up.
Yeah,
him or Chychrun. I guess Chikrin's fantastic too.
And Tom Wilson's gonna be your next captain.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's not even a debate. I mean, they have a few. They have a few really good players. Strome's really good. Protas is really good. Dubois. We just got Dubois back. I think this past game, which was a decisive, actually not that, a 4-2 victory over Nashville. But they were ice cold for a little bit with no Dubois and no Wilson. Obviously, I'm a little biased. I think when you get McMichael back, you get Dubois back up to speed, Wilson's back, I think they can I feel decent about their ability to make the playoffs. If Columbus can cool the hell off, maybe Pittsburgh cools off a bit without Crosby. I definitely think they can make the playoffs. They're probably a bubble team because they're not in a spot right now. I think they're 4 points out. Like who else is 4 points out? I think Columbus.
Yeah,
they're probably a bubble team. I also feel decent about their chances to get in with Dubois coming back.
And this isn't really a thing about how they currently are, but I would also like to note that they do have a really good prospect pool.
And the Hershey Bears are just different. I mean, it feels like it feels like, I don't know about always, but it feels like more often than not, there's at least one young prospect where we're like, ooh, he's the next guy. You know, Leonard, Hudson's coming soon. Ilya Protas might be on the way here in a couple years. Miroshnichenko. The Hershey Bears are just such a developmental force in the NHL, so that's another thing I feel good about their future. But are we cool with the bubble for the Capitals?
If you want to put them in the bubble, I would not be opposed.
What else are you thinking? Or just was that it?
I mean,
bubble.
Yeah, it's if you want to put them in the bubble, that's fine.
Yeah, I put them in. I can't justifiably put them ahead of Boston or Buffalo when they have better records right now. They have more points, and Columbus has won 7 straight. They're in that pool. I would say they probably don't belong in a tier with the Islanders. They're 4. Even though I think we're undefeated against the Islanders this year, but that is the tier list. We can look at it right now. I don't know if there's any last second changes we want to make. Since y'all can't, I know you two can't see it, so I'll read it off real quick. Cup favorites: Colorado, Dallas, Minnesota, Tampa. Tier 2 contenders: Carolina, Detroit, Montreal, Edmonton. Low-end playoff team is Anaheim, Islanders, Buffalo, Vegas. On the bubble, it's Boston, Pittsburgh, Columbus, LA, Ottawa, Utah, Seattle, San Jose, Washington, Florida. Damn, that's like a third of the league in the bubble.
I would put Florida, if there's so many teams in the bubble, I'd put Florida one lower.
Maybe. In week, we have Nashville, Philly, Toronto, Chicago, Winnipeg, and then in Guantanamo, it's Colorado, New Jersey, Rangers, Vancouver, St. Louis.
I think Florida belongs a tier lower if there's so many teams in the bubble.
I would possibly bump the Bruins up because they're 2 games ahead of the Jackets and Capitals, and if they kind of keep winning like they have, I think they'll make it.
That's fair.
Move Boston up, move Florida down.
Yeah.
I'd bump Boston
All right.
up one.
That's fine. We'll do that. We'll move Florida down, even though I don't feel like doing it. There should be another tier in between the two and just put Florida there by itself. Just called "Don't Let Them Make It." I'm not gonna put that in there, but just know in between the two tiers is Florida, and it's "Don't Let Them Make It," because they'll probably just go deep again. But that is our tier list. And that is it for the podcast section of this. There is our rankings. Y'all can yell at us in the comments all you want. I don't really care. Get us up in the algorithm, actually. But if we are all still... Zach, do you have to leave? Or can you...
No, I'm fine right now.
All right, good.
So
Okay. Well, then it's
couple
time for some
hours.
mini games. It is time to pump out some YouTube Shorts content and get them views up. We have some hockey...
Could we do guess the
hockey-related-
player first? Because I do have to go in a little bit.
Okay. All right, go ahead and we'll do guess the player. So Mark's going to go first with his
Alrighty.
game. He has a player that he has thinking in his head, and then me and Zach have to come up with him in 20 questions. So, so Mark, give us like an intro.
So he's
No, like an intro. Like guess the player and do that.
How many questions do you want?
20.
20. Guess the NHL player in 20 questions.
Okay.
God, I'm good.
So, were you going to say something before that, or should we go ahead and start guessing?
No, just go ahead.
All
Yeah.
right, all right,
start guessing.
all right, off-rib, is this a current player?
No.
Okay.
Are they a Hall of Famer?
No.
Is
Hall
he
of Gooder.
Okay. Is he a forward, so a center or a winger?
I need to double check, cut this part out. He is, yeah.
Okay.
Is
Hall
he
of
known
Good.
for? Is he known for playing on an Eastern Conference team?
Yes.
Is the team he's known for, do they primarily wear red?
Yes.
Okay, that was a snipe. So, Washington, New Jersey, Montreal, Detroit. Are we missing anybody? It's an Eastern Conference team.
Is it in that? Oh wait, no, sorry, hold on. So, I think most of those are Atlantic anyway. Never mind, I was.
Washington, New Jersey, Montreal, Detroit. Is there a team that wears red?
Oh.
Hurricanes are on the table too.
Hurricanes. Ooh.
Should we narrow it down by division? By the way, how many questions are we at?
That was 4.
Yeah.
Or
Hold on,
wait, so we did current, Hall of Fame, Red, East, right? So
And then I said, are they a forward?
Oh yeah. So 5. Okay.
Okay, so we're 5 questions.
So 6.
Mark, do us a favor and keep track of that, please.
Yeah.
Okay. So what are we at right now?
This is
I am
question 6.
asking. I'm gonna ask questions.
This is 6. Okay, go for it.
Did they start their career after 2015? Oh, wait.
No.
That was I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie.
I was
I'm
gonna
not
say-
gonna
I was
lie.
gonna say-
That was a terrible
I was
guess.
gonna say 2010, but
That was horrible. Okay.
I was gonna say 2010. I should have said.
Let me ask this. This is question 7. Was the prime of their career after the 05 lockout?
Yes and no. It's that's a good question because some things went in their favor post lockout and other things did not.
Okay. Since you don't have a concrete answer, can I rephrase the question?
Yeah. Yes.
Did they start their career? Actually, no. That kind of gives it away. Let's see. Okay, how about this? Pull up their reference page and go by their point total. Is their season high in their career before or after the lockout?
1 second.
Like the best scoring season of their career.
Sorry, give me 1 sec. My thing.
It's fine. This won't make the video.
Yeah, just cut it out. You asked for what?
Was his best scoring season after the 05 lockout?
No.
Okay. So his prime, quote unquote, was probably more so before.
Are
Eastern Conference
is
red.
is he a current NHL coach?
He is.
Oh wow. Okay.
I think I know. I think I know.
I
who
think
it
I do
is.
too. I think I do. Can I pull the trigger? Can I pull the trigger?
You can pull the trigger.
try guessing a
By the way,
team
if I'm
first.
wrong, we don't automatically lose. By the way, if I'm
Yeah,
wrong,
yeah, it just goes off as a guess.
is this Rob Brindamore?
It is.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I
Damn, that was a
Nice.
snipe. That was killer. Wow.
So
I
it's-
was like I started thinking when we said red, I'm like, because at first I was thinking of I don't know why, I just thought of Phil Kessel at first, but then once we said red, I was like, I don't think Phil Kessel ever played for a red team.
Arizona.
And then also the prime before the lockout, because I think Brindamore was kind of both. Like he had a really good start to his career and then a really good finish.
The Flyers drafted
Yeah.
him.
What I was saying was, so when Taco asked that question, I was like, well, he had a couple of 100-point seasons, and he made one All-Star game, and it was in '92. So like for the most part, stats wise, it was pre-lockout, but the most iconic moment of his career was post-lockout
Was
with
year
like
after
the cup.
Cup.
Yeah, with winning the cup. So that was a good question.
That coach question was the snipe. That's crazy. That basically guaranteed we were gonna
Yeah.
get it. That
Yeah.
took like 8 questions.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
'cause
was good.
That was
I
fast.
think the thing that gave me a hint was the red team, because I was trying to think of good player, like Hall of Good players on red teams.
I feel like I could have. I feel like I could. I was like, should I? Because I think they wear a lot of black now.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah,
They
those
wore
horrible black jerseys with the shoulder.
With
Those
the
are awful.
flag.
Those jerseys
With the flag,
suck.
I hate those.
They're so
the
bad.
ones they won. The ones they won the cup in were perfectly fine. They shouldn't have
love
moved
the-
on from those.
Those
were cool.
This is something weird to talk about. Those old jerseys that won the cup in. I love the numbers. It's like NASCAR. I think the numbers are so cool. I don't know why. I don't get it, but
All right, so what are we doing next?
Mark, can you stick around long enough for
Yeah.
the jerseys?
I don't think so. I gotta go.
Wow, you're a coward.
Unfortunately.
Wow, coward.
Yeah, unfortunately.
All right, get lost.
All right, bye guys. Go frig yourself.
Nah, Rangers suck.
It's okay. Maybe next year. All right. See ya.
Maybe in another 50 years. Okay, well, it's just us two now. So now we're going to finish this. So we have a draft to do. We have Don't Say the Same Thing as Me. And then we have the blind ranking of the jerseys. So let's go ahead and I have to adjust my.
Do we want to do the jerseys first?
Yes. So go ahead and we'll do that next. And go ahead and give us an intro card. Let me widen this a little bit real quick. Let me do this. Since there's only 2 of us on the call. Okay, go ahead.
Blind rank NHL jerseys.
Okay, you can.
And then the first one
could you have been less enthusiastic? Like damn.
Oh yeah, sorry. I'll do it again. Blind rank NHL jerseys. And then the first one is going to be the Dallas Stars in their throwback uniforms that they introduced this year.
This year.
So 1 through 5. Yep, they introduced these this year.
Send it to me.
I put it in the group chat.
Okay. I think I know which ones you're talking about.
It's their like throwback ones.
Okay. So here's my thing. I think that logo is one of the most overrated things in the history of the universe. If that logo came out today, we'd all make fun of it. It's just I could draw that in 5 seconds, okay? It's a star with Dallas Star. I think that logo is so whack, but the jersey is cool.
The
Dallas
Stars
jersey is
haven't really
cool.
been known for their iconography.
Oh, they are. Oh, they are, just not for the right reasons.
Yeah.
I really like the colors. I love their shade of green. I like the midnight, that black with the green. It's just the logo that I don't like. It's honestly a really. I'm gonna go 2. I think it's a really cool jersey.
Interesting. All right.
It's better than the old one, I think.
Yeah.
I'll say it.
The second one is going to be the Red Wings Centennial jerseys.
Oh, I think I know which ones you're talking about. Yeah, those. They are nice. The wheel is a little bit too overwhelming, I feel like. You are the Red Wings, not the Red Wheels, and I feel like this jersey is trying to tell me that they're the Red Wheels. But it's cool. It's a throwback. it gives me that classic vibe. Is this like the first jersey they wore? Is this like a throwback, or is this an alternate they made?
I think it might have. Let me double check. I have the NHL uniforms pulled. Where are the fucking Red Wings? Oh, Detroit. It's kind of like a. It's kind of like a modern throwback in a sense.
Um, it's not bad. I'm being too harsh. I'll go 3. It's not bad.
3. Okay.
Yeah.
the way you've set this up for the so far is kind of funny. But the third one is going to be this jersey, the Montreal or not Quebec Nordiques throwbacks that the Avalanche introduced this year.
I'm not gonna overthink this. I'm gonna put it at 1. I have a Quebec Nordiques hat that I need to wear one day, but that is such a gorgeous shade of blue. I like the logo. I don't know. Is that a fleur de lis, or does it just look like a fleur de lis?
It is the on the yeah.
That's one of the best jerseys of all time. If there's another classic at 4 or 5, then so be it. But I'm a big fan of those jerseys. I'm just gonna put them at 1.
And then the Rangers Centennial uniforms.
See, this is no matter what, if you have like a goated jersey next, then it's not going to be great. I think the ranking that's going to get me here the most is putting that Dallas jersey at 2, but I really love those colors, so I don't feel that bad about it. This jersey, here's my line of thinking. This jersey isn't bad by any means, but it's not spectacular. And if you have an absolute beauty next, I have to put it at 5, I'm going to kick myself. But if you have a nasty one after that, and I have to put it at 4, I don't think it's the end of the world. So if you have an ugly jersey that I have to put it at 4, I'm not going to lose sleep over it. So I'll put this jersey at 5.
That one at 5? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, this one, which I'm not a fan of, but it's the Sharks heritage jersey. It is their
Okay.
early 2000s throwback.
Honestly, I don't like this jersey that much either. I'd probably put the Rangers one above this. The first jersey the Sharks wore is way better. This design is so bad with the gray, and the logo is fantastic, obviously, but the design of the jersey is pretty bad. So I'm cool with that list. I don't know. People are gonna get mad that I had the Stars jersey so high potentially, but I don't care. I think that's a good list.
As much as I hate the Stars, those jerseys are kind of good.
Boom. I think I'd switch 4 and 5. That's it.
Pretty much. Yeah, that's honestly I mean, I'd put the Red Wings at 2. I'd probably put the Red Wings at 2 if I was doing this, and like obviously, I'm not blind ranking, but if I were to just rank them flat, I'd do 1 Quebec Nordiques, 2 Red Wings, 3. Honestly, the Rangers, I just really like that shade of blue, and then 4 Stars, and then 5, which is the only one I don't like, the Sharks.
Yeah, that Sharks jersey is not very good. I don't. People are gonna love it because of the logo, and the logo is outstanding, but just the rest of that is just. I hate the gray. Like that Tampa Bay reverse retro with all the gray. Like, stop. You've lost the plot.
I liked that reverse retro though.
You're nuts. But anyway, we have 2 games left. I want to do a quick test here. We're experimenting real quick. I'm gonna write a message and say on this big pad of paper and see if this works. Oh no, it's backwards. Why is it backwards?
It's forwards for me.
Oh really? It probably won't be for me though. Okay, well then I probably can't do that then. Oh well. Rip to that piece of paper. But what we have here is we're going to do a draft first, and then we'll play Don't Say the Same Thing as Me, see if you can solve the puzzle. Okay. But I can't really think of like a gimmick for the draft, so we're just going to do an all-time draft. Draft the best hockey team.
Just all time.
Yeah. So, and we're not going to do a whole roster. It'll just be a line. So center, the 2 wingers, 2 defensemen, goalie. Okay. Will be our plan. Here's what we'll do. To decide who gets to go first, we will flip a coin. And I feel like I lose this every single time, but we can go to our little camera here. All right, heads or tails, pick.
Heads.
It's heads. All right, you're going first. So, I'll have to think of a gimmick if we do another hockey draft another time. Maybe we'll go like by divisions or something. But for now, let's just break the ice with an all-time draft. So let's go ahead and start. Draft the best NHL team possible all time.
The first is gonna be Gretzky.
Wow, that's really bold. I thought you'd take.
Shocker.
I thought you were taking Lindstrom for sure. All right. Well, I think I have a no-brainer pick too. Give me Mario Lemieux.
Give for winger. Do we want to restrict ourselves to picking pure wingers, or are you fine with doing centers for the wings?
If they played wing, if they were primarily a winger at some point, it's fine. You can cheat a little bit.
Give me. Am I allowed to do a little research or no?
Go ahead. I don't care.
Okay.
I need to do that myself.
Yeah, because let's see. Oh, actually, hold on.
I know. I'm picking next.
For my second pick, give me Jaromir Jagr.
Second all time in points. How good was How good was Yager's prime? Because he played forever.
He had some really good seasons in the Dead Puck era. He had 127 points in 98-99. That is
Jesus.
absurd for that era.
And then 121 and 01. Then he went to Washington. Didn't really do a whole lot. But God, he played forever. All right, well, that's fair enough. Well, for my next pick, give me the greatest defenseman of all time. Give me Bobby Orr.
I was gonna go for him next, but
Yeah, not happening.
you got to him first. Let's believe this was yeah. Since we're gonna go a little bit of defense, give me Nicholas Lidstrom.
That would have been my other pick if I got to my next.
What was it, like 6 straight Norrises?
Something
Or
ridiculous.
something? Oh, 6 in 7 years.
Jesus. So now I probably need to get my first winger because I literally don't have one. I could just pick Ovechkin. Pick my guy. Give me a clean 60-something goals. I wanted to look up like the best like point scores. It's all just Gretzky seasons go by season. I'm kind of feeling old school though. I think this guy played wing. Oh no, he didn't. He played center. Okay, I was gonna take Esposito, but he didn't play winger. If he was like just a center, then he can't be a winger. But if he was like doing both at the same time, then I'm okay with it. Was Lemieux is just a center, right? Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
This is tough. I have Lemieux and Orr. You have what? Gretzky, Yager, and Lindstrom.
Yep.
Jeez, I feel like I never pick first in any of these. It's kind of bogus. This is tricky. I feel like all these all-time great scorers were centers.
Yeah, that is kind of a trend.
Kind of annoying. You know what? I forgot this guy was a winger. Let me just make sure his stats were as gaudy because he's pretty high on the all-time points list. But yeah, it looks like it. He led the league in points a whole bunch. I think his game will probably translate just fine today. You can't have an all-time draft without Mr. Hockey. I'll take Gordie Howe.
With my fourth pick, I will go with Ovechkin, since you did not.
Yeah, whatever.
And
You're a jerk.
Gretzky and Yager will deal all their goals to Ovechkin.
It's okay. Lemieux's got me. I can't pick. Actually, no, I wouldn't pick. I already picked Lemieux, so I'm already a bad fan for picking freaking Lemieux. I probably need more of a all around. Because because Bobby Orr's whole thing was he was so fast he could just skate around the ice, and he could get back on defense. Yeah. For looking at all-time defense, I should get someone who's like a. Actually, no. Maybe I'm overthinking it. Maybe I should just take freaking Ray Bourque.
I would say try to do like handedness, like get a left-handed defenseman, get a right-handed defenseman. So
I'm not gonna lie, I don't know. I don't know the handedness of players. Was Bobby Orr was righty?
Let me check.
No, he's a lefty. No,
he's a lefty.
If Ray Bourque shot righty, I'm picking him.
He shot left.
He shot left too. Wow. Wow, that's unfortunate. Okay, we're cheating here. Actually, no, we're not. I didn't say we can't look stuff up. Okay. Third and fifth of points. Okay, so this is interesting. Do I want Al McInnes or do I want Chris Chelios? That is the
That's
question.
for defenseman.
Yeah, I should probably get my last one. Because you have both your wingers, right? You have Yager and Ovechkin.
I have my whole forward group because
Yeah,
I
so
and then
should
I have
just.
one defenseman, and then I
So I
don't
need
have a goalie either.
So I need to get the defenseman now. I can save the winger for the end since you picked them all already. Who had a better prime? I feel like I should pick Chelios. He was like he was a two-way guy. McInnes had a 100-point season. I think Chelios had more than that. I think Chelios played in the most Stanley Cup playoff games in NHL history. Chelios had low key no. Honestly, Chelios. I think McInnes had a better prime. He had some 100-point seasons. Yeah, scratch that. I'm gonna pick Al McInnes.
Al McInnes for your other defenseman. All
Yeah.
right. I'm gonna go with my goalie. Gotta be a good fan, Patrick Waugh.
I figured he'd be the first pick anyway. So now positional value. Your last pick is a defenseman, so
A right shot defenseman.
yeah. So you're probably picking Chelios. So it doesn't really matter if I get my goalie or my last winger first. I'll go ahead and just get my goalie. I'll take the Dominator. I'll take Dominik Hasek.
All right. Let me double check. This is what I want. Yeah, for my last pick, I'm gonna go Chelios.
All right, comment who won. I think I lost because you got the freaking first pick. But whatever.
Okay. I mean, I will say I think Lemieux is like if he had a healthy career, he would have been better than Gretzky. But
I don't know about that, but
if
shout out Lemieux. I'm probably a bad fan for picking Lemieux and not. Well, no, actually, no. Anyone in their right mind picks Lemieux, but whatever. I probably should have just picked Ovechkin. But we'll roll with it as long as Sidney Crosby didn't get drafted. You know what? Ovechkin got drafted and Crosby didn't. That's what really matters. But the last thing we're gonna do here is don't say the same thing as me. So I have the 5 categories here. We are gonna have. Obviously, you know how this works. I'm going to give a category. There's a bit of latency with Discord. So last time we did this, me and Mark tried to say the same thing at the same time, and there were always a couple of seconds off. And it was always a problem. So I just have it written down, and you're going to say it. Hopefully you don't say what I did, and see if we can it's more about you, but we'll see if you can solve the puzzle.
Okay.
All right. Don't say the same thing as me, NHL edition. All right, first off, let's keep it easy. Name any team in the Western Conference.
San Jose.
I have the Utah Mammoth. All right. I don't know if that would throw you off, but all right. You cleared the first one. Second, name any Conn Smythe winner in the last decade.
Cale Makar.
I have Connor McDavid. All right. You're 2 for 2. Next, name a defunct NHL franchise.
The original Ottawa Senators.
Okay, that's cheating, I feel like. But technically that counts.
That counts.
Is the new one not a continuation of the old one?
It is a different franchise.
Oh, whatever. Okay, I have the Atlanta Thrashers. All right, next. Name a team.
The Thrashers are not a the Thrashers are not a discontinued franchise.
They're not a franchise anymore. Is what I meant. It has to be a non-existent. I know. They're technically still Winnipeg Jets, but the Atlanta Thrashers aren't a thing anymore.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's what I was going for. All right. 3 for 3. You're making it look pretty easy. Next, name any team who primarily wears black.
Carolina Hurricanes.
I have the LA Kings. All right, you're cruising. All right, one more. You have to name a player who had a 70-plus goal season in their career.
Mike Bossy? Did he ever do that?
Did he? Let's go ahead and look it up. If he didn't, you lose, by the way, because that's...
yeah.
Did he?
Fuck! He had 69 as his highest.
Did he really?
Shit.
He never cracked 70?
No, same thing as Austin Matthews. First thing I thought was like Austin Matthews, but then like, wait, he was one short. But no, Mike Bossy, 69
That's
goals in his
so. And
second
then he had
year in the NHL.
68. And then he had 68. You lose.
Yeah.
Yeah, rip Bozo in my opinion. But
I
anyway,
got a little debated by the fact that he is like the highest goals per game in NHL history.
that's pretty funny. I thought he had like an 80 goal season, but Lemieux had 85,
It's not.
and then Gretzky had 92.
What was yours?
I said Lemieux.
Okay. I didn't want to guess Gretzky because I was like, oh, he's probably gonna guess Gretzky.
That's gonna be the joke.
Yeah.
All right, well that's all we have for the 7th episode. To anyone who's still here, what should they comment?
Who is the worst defenseman in the NHL?
And why is it Cody Ceci?
Exactly.
Well, that is it for the hockey episode of the show. When we get to it next, it'll probably be Marco might say more than like 5 words. We'll talk about the probably the off-season wish list for the NFL, and we might get into baseball whenever the time comes. But with that being said, that's it. See ya.
Thank you.